Hi guys, and welcome to another profile tree video. In today's video, we're going to go over a beginner's guide to Canva. So this is the initial screen or the home dashboard that is shown once you've either signed up and made an account. You can get a free account, or you've signed into the relevant Canva login. As you can see, our recent designs are shown, and for the purposes of the video, I'll be talking you through the main steps to create a social media content on Canva. There'll be 6 simple steps that I'll take you through. We'll also talk about best practices in terms of brand consistency, so making sure all of your content is consistent across the platforms in terms of, style, colour, fonts, and logos. And then I'll also have a few tips and tricks and wee hacks within Canva to show you as well. So for the purposes of the demonstration, we'll just go with the social media post. One thing I like about Canva is that the popular platforms are shown, so in terms of Instagram, Facebook and LinkedIn, with the relevant pixels and the dimension sizes as well, which is great. So once you create your relevant styles or the project within the actual dimensions, at least you know that when you go to post that means it's correct sizing for you. So I'll start with an Instagram post, and this will bring us into what's called the editor. So I'll just click on a template that we have previously used, this lovely spa one. So again, you just select if you want to start from scratch and building it from, the blank white canvas, that's perfectly fine. But in terms of beginners, I would usually recommend using templates. It just gives you a sounding board for creativity and just make sure that, you're on the correct track. So again, within elements, once you've chosen your design type, you can browse the left panel and it's going to show you elements, text, background. So as you can see, there's recently used graphics. We can insert shapes, some stickers as well, which are very good for a slight bit of movement that you can then download these and upload to the relevant platform, and this will count as video content. So that's something I would really recommend when you're trying to create more video content but don't necessarily have time to physically go out and film the content. You can include your stock photos and your videos as well. And then there's other features such as charts, tables and frames. So I'll just be taking you through, some of the main elements that you can add within your Canva template, beginning with text and images. So as you can see, the text is already shown, but anything within Canva is editable. So if we want to change the font, the color, any alignment issues, the effects of the text, and you can animate it as well. So as we can see along the top here, we can change the font. So if we wanted to go for this font, we can also change the size, the color as well. So, we'll have our brand kit colors, which I'll talk about in terms of consistency between brand images. And we'll also have our photo colors and our default colors. Similar to Microsoft Word, you'll have bold, italic, underline, and you'll also have alignment. You can also toggle with the transparency, which we'll talk about within the tips and tricks section. And you can also add effects and animate it. So if we wanted a shadow within the text, we can choose the percentage of the offset or the direction of the shadow. We can also animate features. So if we wanted to make this shift or ascend within the image, we can do so. Within the Pro features, you can also change the speed it appears on the screen. And then the writing style as well. And you can also change the position within an element. So we can make it go forwards or backwards in terms of the layers within the Canva. So in terms of the text itself, when you're trying to edit it, you can double click on the text and then edit as necessary. So we can change that to wellness. In terms of other elements, you can improve or insert shapes, graphics as well. So if we wanted to bring this graphic in, we could replace this with the icon at the top. And we can also change the color of the graphic. So if we wanted to go for a more neutral tone, and again with the grid lines, we can just make sure that it's definitely centered. In terms of stock images and videos, again, you can go into the photos section, and if we wanted a different spa photo, we could choose a relevant one. So say if we wanted to promote massage services instead, we could just insert this into the graphic. And again, if we wanted to take that out, hypothetically, if we wanted to include a company logo, obviously we'll just use the profile tree logo. We'll sort this in. And then you can just change the size of the logo. So if we wanted it down at the bottom, we'll also talk about the different options in terms of placing your logo. So just always making sure that, it's consistent either on the right or left hand side at the bottom, or if you just always want it to be centered within your graphics as well. So as previously mentioned, there's a surplus of elements that can be added within the Canva template. And for the purposes of the demonstration, we'll just leave the template as is. And once you're happy with everything, so you've proofread and you've made sure that everything's consistent within the image, and you're ready to share or download it, you just click on the share button and hit download. This will suggest a file type, so for us it suggests an MP4 video, but if we wanted to say change this to PNG and just save it as an image itself, we can download it. This will then download onto our relevant device, so if you've used a laptop or if you've used a phone. I would also recommend, if you're looking to diversify your colour palette within your brand slightly, but also maintaining the brand consistency within the colours, you can slightly deviate from the colour itself. So if we click on the add a new colour in terms of the solid colour or the gradient, as you can see, we can just slightly drag this. It slightly alters the colour, but again, sticking within that main consistent brand palette. So I would recommend this in terms of, avoiding drastic changes in terms of colour opacity, just making sure that there's subtle adjustments in terms of your colour palette. Finally, in terms of logos within the brand kit itself, we can also add, our relevant logos. So as you can see, we've got our white and green one. I would always recommend to employ high quality logo files and adjust the size according to the platform to avoid the pixelation. And again, as previously mentioned, I would always recommend consistently placing your logos in a certain element within the page, just to create that visual familiarity across your posts. So in terms of best practices, I would always keep logos free from overlapping or crowding, simply just on its own at the bottom or the top of the page. And just making sure that, in terms of alignment, it looks consistent with the rest of the post. I am now going to take you through some of the tips and tricks and hacks as such that I have for Canva. So this will ensure a more seamless approach to your Canva social media content creation, more seamless integration of all of your elements, and just an easier user experience overall. So firstly, I would recommend toggling on transparency on an element. So as you can see here, we've added a rectangle in the background. Now, at the minute, yes, we want this to appear clearly to the user and want to have defined boundaries between the text box and the background. But if we wanted this to be more seamlessly integrated into the back of the image, we can toggle with the transparency as shown. So you want to make sure that obviously the user can still read all of the text within the box, but it just means that if we did this for all 5 of the boxes, it would be more seamlessly integrated into the background. Secondly, as I previously mentioned, you can add animation stickers and videos to adhere to social media algorithms preferences. Obviously, you would save this in an MP4 format as shown previously. This just means that within the algorithms, video content is always preferred, and this is an easier way instead of going out and filming all this content. So you also could use, video stocks that we've shown here, just generic ones, even typing somebody on a keyboard. There's also other options as well relevant to your industry. But if we go into elements, as you can see, if we add stickers, so just find something that was relevant for you. Hypothetically, we'll just go with the arrow. And once you save this in the MP4 format, this means that within, again, the platforms, this is going to help your content be pushed further out. Also, I have a couple of keyboard shortcuts for faster editing. So if you hit R, this means that a rectangle or square will be added, and all of these elements you can drag to wherever you want, change the colour, the format, any animation, and include text if you'd like. The same applies if you hit C. A circle will then appear, and again you can just drag this to wherever you want. And then you can also hit T, and this is a fast way to input text. So if we hit hello, that would be seamlessly integrated within the project now. Finally, if we hit Control and D, this means that something will be duplicated. So if you're, working on a lot of projects at once and you want to design something faster, particularly within batch work, this means that this is, going to help a more seamless, integrated and easier shortcuts for you to use. One thing I would also recommend within my tips and tricks is the color palette generator. So if you search this into Google or any of your search engines, I've just got it up here as color palette generator in terms of Canva. I've previously, for demonstration purposes, uploaded an AI generated image, and as you can see, this is giving me the relevant hex codes and the relevant names for the colours. So what we could do then is bring this image back into our project, and we could make sure that, you know, all of these relevant colours are added. And it just means that your colour palette is going to be very seamless in terms of text and photo integration. And again, it's just going to give that more professional aesthetic. In terms of alignment, we'd previously mentioned that you can center things or see the purple lines that now appear on the screen. And you always just want to make sure that that purple line appears up the middle, which means that it's perfectly aligned in the center. Finally, I would recommend brand templates for quick consistency. So this is only relevant within a pro account, but as you can see within the brand kit, we've got our brand templates. This just means that once one of our team is jumping in to create some social media content, the brand template is already there, it's already up and running. It means that everything will be consistent and we just have to add and edit the relevant details. So that is everything for this video, guys. I hope you find it very useful and you can put all of these tips and tricks to use within your social media content creation. As always, let us know in the comments if you have any questions or if you would like something specific covered within our next video. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.